Welcome to the Dream Life is Real Life podcast with your host, Hannah Hermanson, bringing you real-life stories of people who realized their dreams to educate and inspire you to create your legacy of abundance now.
Hey everyone, today we're hanging out with Art Giser. He's the creator of Energetic NLP. He is an internationally renowned NLP trainer, intuitive, and healer. Art's unique and diverse background includes NLP, spirituality, coaching, transformative and healing energy work, and intuition development. He managed a medical research lab for the University of California, San Francisco, and he now works with Fortune 100 companies to develop exceptional leaders and teams. Art, thanks for being here today.
Oh, I'm really, really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we were just chatting a little bit before, and you mentioned you had listened to a few of the episodes, and I'm curious if you went all the way back to episode number 1 for people that have been listening. My very first interview on the podcast was with a NLP practitioner as well. So it's kind of fun to be 30-something weeks later back on this really, really powerful topic.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So if people didn't go all the way back, could you just give us a brief overview? What is this acronym NLP and specifically Energetic NLP?
Great. And thanks for asking it that way because they overlap, but they're two different things. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is a name most of us in the field wish they'd picked a different name. but the way the easiest way to explain it is to tell how it started. Back when they started NLP, traditional therapy usually was therapists would tell you it had to take years. Like 5 years was minimal. I remember a therapist telling me. And the people who started NLP went, well, we know about 5 or 6 therapists get magical, rapid results with people. So what is it that they're doing differently? And they studied them and they videotaped them. And, people now think, oh, they're going to pull out their iPhone. But, in those days, it was this thing the size of a refrigerator. You had to wheel in, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they were really big machines. And
oh, yeah. I remember even when I was in school, they had like all these harmful, danger, do not climb on the, like these huge pieces of equipment. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a big deal and people weren't doing it much. And they began to study them. And out of that, each one of them, they would learn different things that they were doing. And a lot of what they were doing was what we in NLP would call an unconscious competence. So they didn't necessarily teach it because it was something for them that felt very natural and instinctive. So they didn't even know to teach it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, many of them would go, "Oh, I didn't realize I was doing that." When when they would explain it to them. And that was the start of NLP. And then they rapidly realized it didn't have to be just for therapy. You could use it for skills transference. So if somebody's a phenomenal entrepreneur, a lot of people can teach you, okay, what are they doing in terms of their marketing and customer service and everything that they're doing? And they can tell you the external parts of it. But an NLP person would go, how does an incredible entrepreneur think? What goes on in their mind? What do they notice? What do they not notice? What's their unconscious programming that allows them to do this? So in NLP, we study both what's going on consciously and unconsciously, and then teach other people how to adapt those same skills to their situation.
Okay. And is the energetic piece the adapting to other people, or what is the difference between NLP and your energetic NLP?
Well, Energetic NLP, and I'm glad that you mentioned earlier that I managed a research lab at a top medical school for 11 years, and I work with Fortune 100 companies on leadership and team development. So that what I'm talking about in energy work here is working with the human energy system and spirituality. So what people would typically call chakras and aura, energy channels, and spiritual principles. And what I discovered years ago is that we could do really, really miraculous work with NLP, and the people could do really, really miraculous work with energetic spiritual systems, but they had different strengths and weaknesses. So I started kind of doing a dance with my clients, and sometimes I'd be doing NLP, sometimes I'd be doing energetic work or spiritual work. And then I began to more and more integrate them into one system. And that was the birth of energetic NLP. So it's NLP with intuition development, using transformative energies and using spiritual principles.
Got it. Okay. So I'm thinking about too, like as a business coach, right? I started out as like life coaching, and personal development is so integrated into marketing, and our energy is also playing into all of that. So specifically thinking about entrepreneurs, maybe not, their marketing plan, but what are some of the, I don't know if it's a secret or a trend that you see these top business leaders and entrepreneurs using?
Well, it's an open secret in Silicon Valley in particular. In a lot of places that people are working with psychics and energy workers, and they're learning how to work using spiritual principles in their business. And everybody knows that they're doing it, but the ones that are doing it a lot, they don't talk about it, because if it's a publicly traded company, your stock would go to zero.
Mm-hmm.
The business press would,
you're not woo woo, are you?
Exactly. Like, that, like, even I was just sort of channel surfing, and there was some show, I didn't watch it, but something about my crazy ex. And one of the stories they're going to tell is like somebody whose lightning hit their boyfriend, and then he could do all this energy. He believed he could do all these mind reading things and stuff. And I'm going, well, you probably could. But the good news, you're not going to be hit by lightning. But I like to let people know, and there's an incredible book, and it's an easy read, but it's so well researched. So it's called An End to Upside Down Thinking, An End to Upside Down Thinking, by Mark Gober. And there's a reason he titled that I won't go into. But he was an investor and a financial analyst, and he got interested in spirituality and energy work. And he started going through the research and realized there was an incredible amount of research that supports it, and that there were, all these Nobel laureates in physics and stuff who would talk about that they believed in it, and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the book is a great book for people who, again, you get beat up in society by a lot of people of like, oh, you believe that stuff. In fact, it's funny. The figures are, I work a lot in London, and the studies are almost identical in the UK and the US. Like, a majority of people don't believe this stuff is true, but 70% of people in both countries will say they have had, or they've known somebody who's had an experience that was clearly psychic, mm-hmm. but they don't believe in it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like, yeah.
And the scientific journals, interesting, they will in Russia. In Russia, they'll print, they're into it. Oddly enough. But in the US, like, getting published in scientific journal, again, they're all afraid, because even TED Talks, they banned a number of TED Talks on this topic, even when they're talking about really good research. People like Professor or Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, they get banned because somebody at TED Talk thinks it's too weird.
Right. Right. So give us some specifics here, right? So we know that maybe behind the curtain or somewhere, successful people do tap into the power of energetic work, of intuition. So maybe even for listeners who are just starting to spark their next entrepreneurial endeavor, how can we use our intuition to become more successful in the paths that we choose or find ourselves on?
Yeah. And if you want, I can take people through a really simple process right now that they can then do on their own, if that would be a good idea. Yeah,
let's try it.
Okay. And I want to be clear, though, if anybody's listening to this while they're driving, even if you think this is woo-woo and you don't believe in it, turn this off. Don't listen to this when you're driving, because I'll be running energy. And when people do these processes, you go inward. They're designed to get you to go inward. When you're driving, you don't want to be inward, you want to be outward. So I always tell people, don't, if you're driving, either pull over or just turn it off and listen to it some other time. The process itself is really, really simple, but let me give it, it won't make sense to people without a few concepts. Mm-hmm. So one of the concepts is your energy field, just like every other part of your body, gets dirty. And I should mention, it's no longer ancient woo-woo that we have energy fields. Scientists know we have energy fields. They measure them. They can't measure all the ones that people like me work with, but they know that we have all these energy fields. And so, I mean, so for people that are skeptical, that's, you can look it up. That's science. They measure people's energy fields, and they're particularly strong around the heart and the stomach and the brain, but they're all over the body. But our energy fields, like everything else, get dirty. And we're absorbing energies from other people all the time. And it starts when we're in the womb. We're absorbing energies from our parents. Even if we weren't around, like, let's say a person never knew their father, they were still absorbing energies from him, because people are unconsciously programmed that they're supposed to program their kids, which biologically makes sense, because every child has to know the rules of whatever society or family they're born into, or they'll get in trouble or die. So it's not just that parents are consciously programming kids, energetically they're programming it. So when everybody listening was in the womb, they were already being programmed, but they were also absorbing energies from their parents and people around them. And if, let's say, one of the parents was really anxious all the time, a lot of us then absorb that energy as a fetus, and then it stays with you your whole life unless you clean it out. So I'll work with people who go, I'm 50 years old and I'm really anxious, and I don't know why I'm anxious. I've always been anxious, and meditate, and then I slow down, but then I get anxious again, and and I go to therapy, and it gets a lot better, but I still get anxious. And the thing is, it's not their anxiety. So one of the key things about energy work is to realize, just because you're feeling something and just because you're thinking something doesn't mean it's yours. Like a radio receiver, it can be in your energy field, and then you're just running it. And
just that alone is really empowering to, navigate the highs and the lows and the ebbs and the flows.
Yeah, I've worked with so many people who go, I've wondered, like, was I crazy? Was it genetic? I mean, again, I was a researcher, and we were studying epigenetics. But and of course, a lot of things are genetic, but a lot of things I think are genetic aren't. That we've absorbed these things, but it acts almost like a genetic thing, because it's just a program running in your unconscious mind. And like I say, that I can't explain everything in this short time about clearing that out, but I can teach people how to clear out some of it right now. And it's going to be really, really easy. So the basic concept is that we're absorbing other people's energy. It contains thoughts and emotions, and it also interferes with our own connecting with our own intuition and our own thoughts and our own desires. So, how so many people, they'll go into a career and then they'll realize, I actually don't like this. This is what my parents thought I should do, or society said I should do. So as you clear other people's energy, I believe it helps people's health, but I can't prove that. But it definitely gives people greater vitality, greater clarity. Your emotions even out. I mean, we're not trying to get rid of emotions, but people can handle their authentic emotions. But if you've absorbed emotional energy from other people, that's the part you can't handle, because it's not yours. You can't heal it. You can just deal with it. So, and the thing is, these energies can only stay in our energy field because they're sticking to something of ours, like an unconscious belief or programming or something in there. Actually, I'll back off from that. I don't want to make it too complicated for right now. So one of the things we use a lot in NLP and energetic NLP is we use symbols. And the unconscious mind gets symbols and metaphors and loves them. It's why, our dreams can be hard to understand, because they're all symbolic and metaphorical. And if you treat them literally, it's confusing. But if you look at them metaphorically, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. And so the unconscious mind is just really wired to work with symbols and metaphors. So we can use that deliberately. And one that we use a lot in energetic NLP is the idea of a magnet. So almost everybody, at least in the Western world, played with a magnet when they were a child. So it's wired into your mind that a magnet is this little thing that contains energy. And if you hold up the magnet and hold up a pin, all you have to do is let go of the pin and the magnet will do all the work. It'll pull it over. So that's something that's culturally wired into us. So it's a great thing that we can use. And in energy work and spirituality, they talk about symbol and reality being one. But if you pretend there's a little energy magnet out in front of you, your unconscious mind gets it and will do whatever it needs to do to actually make that happen. But let me say that a little differently. So you'll access unconscious abilities and resources because your unconscious mind will go, oh, you want me to pull energies out of you? Oh, okay, I can do that. Because your unconscious mind knows how to do it. But when we try to do it consciously or deliberately, we tend to trip all over ourselves at first. So for everybody listening, this is a really short visualization and it's really powerful. We're going to imagine 4 magnets one at a time, and I'll talk people through it. And it's really, really simple. The only ways people can defeat the process is, one, if they go, am I doing it right? Am I imagining the right magnet? Should it be shaped differently? Are other people doing it better? So you have to, and the other thing is expectation. So it may not look or feel or operate the way somebody's expecting. So the way to get this to work is to bring out the inner playful child. So if I tell a 5-year-old to do this, they can do it. It's like no sweat because they just think it's a funny thing to do. So everybody listening, this isn't faith healing. You don't have to believe anything. It's just an experiment. And awesome. The goal is just play around with it. And in fact, in my training programs, I make people take a pledge at the beginning that they're not going to believe anything I tell them. That they're going to explore and discover their own truth. And I really mean it. So right now, this isn't about believing anything. It's just be playful. So everybody listening, and for you, imagine a magnet out in front of you. And you can imagine it really big, like a refrigerator, or small, or whatever appeals to you. And put it at least 20 feet, 6 or 7 meters out in front of you. And then in energetic NLP, we don't try to consciously control things. We always put our inner wisdom and our spirit in charge. So if somebody listening, if they don't believe they have a spirit, just put your inner wisdom in charge. But for people who believe or suspect they have both, just set the intention. Okay, my inner wisdom and spirit are going to be in charge because they'll know what to do. So it's just as simple as that. Like, okay, putting my inner wisdom and spirit in charge. Done. The magnet's floating out in front of you. And then ask your inner wisdom and spirit to identify energies in your energy field that's in and all around your body. Identify the energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful. Energies that aren't yours and aren't helpful. And again, your inner wisdom and spirit can figure that out easily. And then give the magnet permission to pull those energies just very gently and powerfully out of you, over to the magnet. And if you feel any kind of a tug of war, leave those alone for now. Just whatever comes off easily. And then you imagine that magnet just sinks down into the earth, and the earth will recycle that energy, which means it will either send it back to the person it belonged to, or the earth can just turn it into pure energy and just use it. So that's the first magnet. The second magnet float up high above your head.
I'm already feeling lighter, just so you know. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's great. And it's so simple and it works so well. So imagine now, so your energy field, again, is all around you. So magnet's floating above you. And imagine from your shoulders through your neck, inside your head and your skull, the top of your head, the forehead, the back of the skull, and all around your head, going out probably at least 9 feet in all directions, 3 meters in all directions, and going up, 9 feet, 3 meters above the head. Again, give your inner wisdom and spirit permission to identify the energies that aren't yours, and then give the magnet permission to just gently pull them out of your energy field. It's good to take an easy, deep breath. Drop that magnet into the earth. Let the earth recycle the energy. And then my favorite, put a magnet 6 or 7 meters, 20 feet behind you, and let it clear the back of your body and the energy field behind you. Because energies literally hide behind our back. Just, again, let your inner wisdom and spirit identify the energies and let the magnet take them. Drop that into the earth, let the earth recycle the energy. And then the fourth and last magnet is in the earth already below you. And let it clear from the base of your spine down through your legs and your whole pelvic area, your hip joints, your knees, your ankles, your feet, your toes, the soles of your feet. And let it even clear, maybe going down about 1 meter, 3 feet below your feet, and all around your legs, your whole energy field. Again, release to the magnet whatever your inner wisdom and spirit don't want in your space. And then there's a second part to this process. It's really quick and easy. So it isn't just that other people's energy is stuck in our energy field. We leave our energy in other people's energy fields. Often because we're trying to help them, or we're trying to convince them of something, and let me just say, anybody listening, if you have really small children, totally appropriate to be really in their energy field. But if your small child is 16 or older, or even 12 or older, they need to have their own space. So imagine a gold ball of energy floating high above your head, and let it be a magnet to attract back your authentic energy. So have your inner wisdom and spirit use it to pull back your authentic energy from wherever you've scattered it. We leave it in the past, the present, and future. We leave it in places we've been. We leave it at work. We leave it in our cars, on planes. We leave it all over the place. So just allow that energy to come back to the gold ball. And if some of that energy was in somebody else's energy field because you're trying to help them, give permission for your inner wisdom and spirit to send them earth and universal energies that would be better for them than your energy was. So you're still going to help them, but you're going to retrieve your energy. So again, give permission for your inner wisdom and spirit to send them earth and universal energies that will be even better for them than your energy was. And then your inner wisdom and spirit examines the energy that you pull back into the gold ball. And if it's not really your energy, it sends it to the earth to be recycled. If it's really your energy, it gets sent down into your body and energy field. So you're retrieving it. And you never want to leave empty spaces in your energy field. So if there's any empty space, your inner wisdom and spirit will bring gold energy and fill up all of your space. Because gold energy is kind of like food. You can use it to do different things. And then that's it. How do you feel?
Lighter immediately, right? And then I felt taller when the magnet was ahead of me. And then I felt more expansive when it was behind. And I think that I'm so glad we went into the experience. And I hope that people take time to move through this, because I mean, that just took us a few minutes, and it totally just shifted the way I'm standing here at my desk. And so is this something you recommend people do like every day, or just when they feel out of sorts, or what's the prescription for energy clearing?
Yes and yes. So what I recommend, and by the way, if people only have a minute, you can do it fast with a little practice. Or you can, if you feel like it, you can do it slow and kind of like taking a warm bath. What I recommend, and I'll go through the steps again in a minute, but I recommend people do it in the morning when they first get up. So I'm one of those people, I wake up like, and then I do this and it's like, hello world, and because while we're sleeping, we're doing a lot of work with energy in our dreams. So you do it first thing in the morning. And then if you do it before you go to bed, you'll sleep better, you'll get more rest, and you'll have better dreams. If somebody has a big meeting coming up or a presentation of some kind, or they're giving a talk or a workshop, take a minute to do it before the meeting. And you can, and people don't know you're doing it. You can do it real quick in your head, or you can go to the bathroom and nobody knows what you're doing. No, I just know I'll just go install and work on my energy, come back out. Nobody knows. If for those people listening who work with other people, really, really important to do it anytime you complete working with other people, which could be one-on-one work or a team or a workshop or a class, because you'll be absorbing energies from other people. So you clear those back out and always retrieve your energies. And anytime you're in any kind of a discomfort, emotionally, physically, mentally, it's a great thing to do. And again, what it's doing is it's allowing us to recapture our own strength. And by pulling our own energy back in, because our energy field can only hold so much energy, and it gets so stuffed with other people's energy, we literally shove out a lot of our actual essence. So when you bring it back in, you make better decisions, you have more enthusiasm, you handle even difficult emotions, but you handle them better. And that's another time to do it. If somebody's feeling an intense emotion, what will happen is, let's say you're feeling grief or anger or frustration or hopeless or whatever a person's feeling, you're not just feeling your authentic emotion, you attract in, or you already have in your energy field, those energies from other people. So as soon as you do that, you still have the emotion, but it's different. It's lighter. You can handle it. It feels authentic. So if somebody's angry, you might still be angry, but it'll be appropriate, and you'll be able to work with it and utilize it rather than get controlled by it.
Wow. Yeah, like you mentioned, for educators, for my yoga teacher friends, for people who work with anyone, but also people who just want to just have more of that emotional regulation, be less anxious. I mean, wow, this is such a powerful tool. And I really do hope that people are, if they're going through the process with us now, but just thinking about, and like you said, it could be just a few minutes. It could be that shift in mindset where you pull out your magnets after a tough meeting or after a hard conversation or a good one, right? And just reclaim your power on this really tangible, practical level.
And I like that you said even after a good one, because still it's good to then you get your energy back, give their energy back. The other way you can use it, and you don't use it as a way to control people, but my students do this all the time, and I do it too. One of my students, she was actually Russian because she was coming down to take a workshop from me in Los Angeles, and she was working in Silicon Valley. And since I had taught her this years ago, all the meetings go really well because she doesn't just do it for herself. She puts magnets outside the meeting room, and she just clears energy out of the space that isn't helpful. See, again, you don't try to control anybody, but you just ask, okay, inner wisdom and spirit, if there's any energies here that we don't really want, that aren't going to help us have a good meeting, just send them out to the magnet. And then she imagines energies coming into the room that will be helpful. Again, not trying to control anything, but just energies.
Like you said, like cleaning up the environment.
Yeah.
Because we all know that feeling, right? Like when you go to someone's house and they just had a fight and it just doesn't feel quite right. Or like, yeah, like this has happened going home to my parents. I'm like, what's up? Like, what happened? It doesn't feel right. Yeah.
And her meetings always go well. Well, she was rushing and didn't do it because she was trying to get out of work early to go to my workshop. And she said it was the first bad meeting they'd had in years. Mm-hmm. And that's typical that my students report, and they do it with their family. One of my students had a young daughter who was having nightmares every night. And she didn't tell anybody, her husband or the daughter, but she just would put magnets outside her daughter's room at night and pull out any energies that were giving her daughter nightmares and bring in, good sleeping energies. And and the daughter had every night woke up in the middle of the night and gone upstairs and gotten in bed with my student and her husband. And she did that and it never happened again.
Wow. Powerful.
She didn't even tell anybody. So there was no placebo effect. She was the only one who knew.
Wow. So amazing.
For all the entrepreneurs, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah. Give us a quick entrepreneur
again,
example.
Use it with your clients, with meetings, use it with yourself. So I use it to clear the area where I work, my office, because it gets clogged up with my energies that aren't always helpful if I'm anxious or feeling overwhelmed or something, and I don't clear the energy, then I'm not as productive or good. And if I clear the energy, it's like, oh, okay, great.
Yes, this is a game changer, right? To just be able to use our own resources to really shift the experiences for ourselves and for other people. So like I said, this is so powerful. I'm so grateful that you've already given us so many tangible resources and ways that we can improve our own experience and our productivity and success. So time is flying today since we did get to go through the experience with you. But Art, I want to make sure that people can stay connected with you. So where can people learn more about Energetic NLP and what exactly you offer?
Well, my website is energeticnlp.com, but they can just, if they want, do ENLP for Energetic NLP, the number 7, lucky7.com. So ENLP, number 7.com will take them to my website. If they do ENLP, the number 7.com /dream life, I put up a page for your listeners, and there's a webinar that will teach you. We'll review what we just did, but we'll teach you a couple of other even more powerful energy processes. And there's also an opportunity if people want to do a Discover Your Miraculous Self session, which is a free session. They can apply for that. And so there's a couple things on that page. So ENLP, the number 7.com /dream life. And I do 1 and 2 day workshops that are personal and spiritual transformation workshops. I also do training programs where I teach people how to develop their intuition, their abilities to work with energies, because everybody on the planet can do everything I can do, everybody else can do. It's not a special gift that a few of us can do. It's everybody can do it. So I would encourage people, it's not everybody's path and it's not everybody's interest, but anybody that it's
still listening at this point.
Yeah, still listening, right?
Right.
It isn't even hard. I mean, it is so easy to read energies. It's so easy to use universal energies, and part of it in the workshops I do, we laugh a lot, we have fun, because everybody when they quit trying to do it right and they just get playful, it's in a few days they're doing amazing things, and it's because they're just having fun with it and letting these natural abilities, because they are natural, happen. So
wow, so many gifts today. ENLP7.com /dream life to take advantage of everything Art offered and also, stay connected with him. So again, I cannot thank you enough for your energy, your insights, and all of the goodness that you've shared with the audience today, Art. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I so appreciate your podcast and what you're doing for everybody. So keep it up. It's great work.
Making dreams real. And friends, I'll be back next week with another inspiring guest that will help you and me and everyone else make their dream life their real life.
You've been learning how to make your dream life your real life with Hannah Hermanson. To get the resources mentioned on today's show and to listen to past episodes, visit www.dreamlifeisreallife.com.